So, I was going to do a Rivals Season 4 impressions video to make a quick commentary piece on the current state of Rivals, but after logging on, seeing myself back in Silver again, and getting mentally exhausted at the thought of having to do the ranked climb again and again and again, and never have even a week to enjoy hitting a higher rank and feeling proud, I decided to do a video on something that's been on my mind for a while. I don't really have a problem with Rivals' ranked system. I think the point system is fine and fair. I think it's fine to have the Chrono Shield to help people climb in the medal ranks, but not the Chrono cards, and I'm generally just okay with it. I like that as opposed to Overwatch, you don't have to comb through 5 divisions to hit another rank. It feels so impossibly hard to climb on Overwatch because 5 divisions is so much fucking SR, and long grinds sometimes feel like they go nowhere when you go from Gold 5 to Gold 3 to Gold 2 to Gold 1 to Gold 3, and then 4 and then 5, then back up and all over in a constant state of repetition. Having 3 divisions into the next rank almost feels just more satisfying because it feels like you're progressing, even if nothing much changes. It might be a little artificial, but it feels good to go from gold to plat to gold again to plat because it at least feels like, oh, I'm about to break into plat if I could just stick there a little bit longer. On that level, I don't have any issues. I'm actually relatively okay with it. But there are 2 things I've got a bone to pick with Rivals-wise. No placement matches, which leads to the next thing I have an issue with. Rank resets. Falling, what is it, 7? 8? Is it still 9? Divisions every season hurts like hell when you spent so much time struggling and grinding to hit a new peak just to have it whisked away from you before you even have a few days to enjoy it and gloat about it. I think it causes some major imbalance as well. It causes the ranks to be confused, and it causes lots of players, returning and regulars, to experience a perception of shit tier matchmaking because of the fact that ranks get squished and are all out of whack. I think the rank resets are one of the leading reasons why everyone thinks that matchmaking is absolutely shit. There are other reasons to speculate on, but I think this one could be a very likely culprit. That it's not really real, it's just kind of artificial. Because on paper, you, a GM player, should be able to climb from gold easily, but when everyone is at the same rank, you're technically playing other former GMs and become astounded that the game is suddenly so hard at a rank you should be flying through. And if you take a long enough break and find yourself in a low place when everyone's already left, you're going to dominate and destroy matches and unintentionally smurf because of the reset, which is worse if you haven't played for a couple of seasons and NetEase hands you a bronze smurf account on a silver platter with enough plausible deniability to be able to appeal bans with ease, and again cause a shift in the balance at ranks you don't belong in even if you're a little bit rusty. Because of this, I wanted to focus on making this video about a change to the system that I think could be better and healthier for the game, despite the fact it might not be seen as favorably for casual players. However, I believe competitive and ranked modes have never really been for casual players, and a level of dedication and determination is required if you truly want to engage in rank. So here's a breakdown of what I think ranked Decay should look like in Rivals. First of all, remove rank resets by season. Nobody gets a do-over, not unless you integrate placement matches, which is a conversation for another time. Since it is not in the game, we will not consider it. Bronze to Platinum will not have rank decay. Rank decay will begin in Diamond and progressively get worse the higher it goes. The system will work as simple as this. After a period of inactivity, depending on your rank, you will progressively lose points until falling to a maximum amount of divisions, depending on your rank. You will not go below the maximum amount of divisions. The period of inactivity before Decay kicks in will be 7 days before it kicks in for Diamond players, 5 days before it kicks in for Grandmaster players, 3 days before it kicks in for Celestials, 1 day before it kicks in for Eternity, and 1 above all. For Diamond to Celestial players, you will only fall 4 divisions maximum. For Eternity and 1 above all players, you can fall all the way to GM3. The reason Diamond to Celestial players only fall 4 divisions is because at worst, if you finish Diamond 3 or Celestial 3, you could find yourself, at worst, at either Gold 3 or Diamond 1. And for Eternity and 1 above all, you could just find yourself at the bottom of GM. So why this amount of divisions? I think it's worth it, ironically, to consider Overwatch, again, for this decision. And the reasoning why is simple, because it happens in Rivals too. It is just very prominently talked about in Overwatch, since Overwatch has placement matches, albeit useless placement matches. One of the biggest criticisms levied against Overwatch and its ranked, MMR, and reset systems for competitive is that you're pretty much nearly guaranteed the same rank as always, despite how much time it's been because your account MMR does not decay. So, for example, let's say you achieved Masters 3 in Season 10. Proud moment. But you were done with the game. Since there have been multiple seasons, rank resets, soft rank resets, a soft MMR reset, now, upon logging in again and playing your placement matches, even losing most of them, you are magically right back in Masters 5 because your account MMR is still Masters level. So despite the fact that you're a washed up player struggling with the game, new heroes, and new maps, you're playing with Masters players and frustrating them because you are not on their skill level. This creates a bad experience for yourself and your teammates. It would have been better to place you lower to better let you reaccommodate to the new game environment and to allow you time to shake the rust off. That is why I've decided that you should only fall a certain amount of divisions, not a big enough fall that you are severely punished for not playing, and not so much of a punishment that you are in games way below your skill level, and as soon as you've shaken the rust off, aren't pummeling the low ranks and making games frustrating for others, and you aren't frustrated playing in lobbies with people who are way below your skill level. I think there should be enough of a bump down after the maximum amount of time spent away from the game to give you a spot where, more than likely, you'd fall if you're kinda rusty, but with enough room to have to reacquire your old position. A position that you didn't work hard enough to hold, and now others who've spent more time grinding and playing hard have taken. There shouldn't be hitting GM3, logging off, coasting, inflating the rank until the end of the season. After all, hitting a rank does not mean belonging to that rank. It just means you peaked there. Playing and holding the rank should be far more deserving of that recognition, pride, and reward. The amount of people that hit a desired rank, log off, and only come back to squeeze in a few extra games while being incredibly rusty is still too high. So, if you feel like so far this is pretty fair, you might be asking, but why do Eternity and One Above All players get punished worse? Well, two reasons. One reason is because they're kinda smug dicks, and I think they deserve to put their money where their mouth is. There are a plethora of Eternity players who say Celestial and GM are a joke. No one's actually any good, and only Eternity is actually skilled. Cool. Well, I think such a high rank needs to put in a little more consistent work to keep it, especially because Eternity and One Above All are actively competing for top rank positions, and dedication should be rewarded as opposed to hitting Eternity and logging off the game and gloating about being an Eternity player for the rest of the season while you don't touch the game. If we're all upset at the GM players for doing this, then the Eternity players should get it too. Since GM and Celestial are considered high rank, I don't think it is out of this world to knock Eternity and One Above All players who don't regularly play down a few pegs. Still in skilled, high rank lobbies, but needing to re-earn the acclaimed title of Eternity or One Above All player by having to re-face batches of new faces that might want to take that spot from them. I think Eternity players don't really have any business being able to be knocked down all the way to gold or bronze. Same for Celestial and Grandmaster. Going too far down is a bad disaster for everybody involved, so I think this is the most fair way. So let's recap one more time what the new rank decay system would look like. Rank decay starts in Diamond rank. Diamond players' inactivity decay begins after a 7-day period. Grandmaster begins after 5 days. Celestial begins after 3 days, and Eternity and One Above All begins after 1 day. Diamond to Celestial players can plummet down 4 divisions maximum. Eternity and One Above All players can get knocked down to GM3, but not past it. Remember, you wouldn't hit a week and then suddenly find yourself reset 4 divisions. It gradually begins after the final day of your waiting period. And I'm sure you're thinking, well, won't this just encourage people to play 1 or 2 games before that period kicks in? Yes, but it's better than them coasting. And besides, they could still lose those games and fall naturally. I just feel like this would feel better. That way, you're not expected to do some major recline. Low rank players don't lose all their progress all the time. The ranks don't get all mixed up and confused, and the balance of the ranks doesn't get shafted. I think those who take breaks are not going to lose all their skill and genuinely be a silver. And I don't think making them smurf their way back to their rank is very fair on others either. But this is just an idea. What do you think? Good? Bad? If you could decide on what to do with the ranked system besides placement matches, what would you do? I mean, if you find the current 6th division reset for all fair, then make a case for it. I'm curious what the thoughts on this one are. I've got some general gaming commentary videos releasing soon and would love your feedback. If you haven't had a chance to join my community, please do. I'll be hosting game nights twice a week. And what are your thoughts on me taking my streams to YouTube instead of Twitch? Thanks for checking the video out. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. Feel free to check my other content, and good night.